everybody. My name is Melissa and this is Cicely.
Hi.
And thank you so much for joining our little cooking class today. We're so excited to make dinner with you. We're making macaroni and cheese today. So we just wanted to go over a few little things that you'll need. First thing that you'll need to do is have your oven ready. So we're gonna preheat the oven to 375 degrees. So Cissy, you wanna help me with that? Just hit bake. And then 3, 7, 5, start. Perfect. So now our oven's preheating. So we have a few supplies that we need. So you guys have your kit. Mine looks a little different because I have a glass bowl. I didn't have any more foil ones available, but you guys have a foil one. And inside you have 2 things of shredded cheddar cheese, Monterey Jack, 2 eggs, a little spice kit of 4 spices, and then salt for boiling the water, which we're gonna need in a minute here. And then paprika towards the end. This is gonna give it some color and some spice. So we have that, some skim milk, butter, 2 cans of condensed milk, and noodles. You guys have cavatappi, I have rotini. The store didn't have enough cavatappi for us, so we're improvising here. But anyway, things that you will need from your own kitchen, you're gonna need 2 medium bowls. You'll need a 1 cup measuring device, and then you're going to need a can opener for those evaporated milk cans, a box grater or a cheese grater so that you can grate some of your cheese, and then you're going to need a strainer and a pot for your pasta. We have a fancy lid here, so we're not going to use a strainer. The first step that we're going to do is boil the water, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to fill up our pot with water, probably leave about 2 inches on the top so that you can put the noodles in and it won't overflow. So we give this a second here. That's about good. So we're just going to bring this to a boil. So you'll want your oven on high. And for kids, make sure that your parents are there to help because there's a little bit of dangerous stuff involved, but most of it you can do. So one of your packets that you have is labeled salt for pasta water. So we want to season our pasta. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump this whole thing of salt in there because it's going to make the pasta taste extra yummy. Sissy, you want to put that in there? Careful of the fire. Awesome. So we're going to wait for that to boil, and it'll probably take about 3 or 4 minutes so we can do some other steps while we're getting that done. So first of all, we can probably put some butter in this pan to get it prepared. So for you guys, if you're using the little foil pan, you might want to put your butter in the microwave for about 10 seconds so that it's a little soft so you can put it in there because that pan's not super sturdy. That's the best way to do it. Or if your mom, dad, whoever's making this recipe, if they have a glass container, or a glass 9x13 pan, then that works great. You can just use the cold stick of butter. And then what are you going to do with this, sis? I'm going to rub it all over the place. Can you do that for me? All right, we got something icky in there. Awesome. Well, you work on that, Cicely, and then I'm going to work on something different, okay?
Okay.
All right. So next we're going to put together our 2 bowls of ingredients for the macaroni and cheese. So the first one is the cheese part, the most important part of the macaroni and cheese in my opinion. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take these 2 sharp cheddars, and you're just gonna dump them in the bowl. There's 1, and there's 2. And then the next thing you're gonna do, you're probably gonna need mom and dad's help if you're a kiddo working on this. Put this to the side, but you are going to want to open up this Monterey Jack cheese, which I could have planned ahead for. And you are going to grate as much of this as you possibly can. The recipe calls for 8 ounces, which is this whole thing, but we know that once you get to the end, fingers are in danger, so just do as much as you possibly can. And I'm going to grate this for this, but I'm not very good at getting it in the bowl, so I'm going to use this bowl to do it. So how are you doing on the buttering, sis? cheese grating takes a while, but we're still grating that cheese. And I don't want to get my fingers, and I don't think you guys should worry about it either. So we're just gonna do the best that we can. That's about as much as I feel safe doing because I don't trust my grating skills. What's this? What do we do with that part? Eat it. That was a big chunk of cheese to eat. So if you guys were using another plate, then you just pop this in with your other cheese, get it all out of there because we're going to use that bowl for something else in a second. And then we're just going to mix this cheese together because we're going to use that a little bit later. And the good thing about this recipe is you can do it any way you want and you're not going to mess it up because it's super, super simple. This is our favorite Thanksgiving recipe. Our Cicely's Aunt Talitha brings this to Thanksgiving every single year, and the kids just gobble it up. So it's super yummy, super fun to make with the kids. It's super easy. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 eggs that were in our packet. We're going to give them a little crack. Pop them in there. I usually get shells in here. The little trick is, if you get a shell in, you can use your fingers or you can use the eggshell. That works even better. And here's numero dos. This is awesome. I usually never get shells in, but because I'm on camera, of course, I got about 40 in there. So there we go. We're gonna have an extra crunchy macaroni and cheese today. So we've got that. One thing I did forget to mention is that you're gonna need a whisk, which is faithful. I think it was my grandma's whisk, so it's super old. But we're gonna give these
Nice little stir.
these a toss. I think you're probably good there, honey. Do you want to help put this together?
Yeah.
That looks awesome. I'm just gonna get the sides here real quick. So Cicely's done an awesome job of buttering our thing. We're gonna need this butter, and we're gonna want to measure it. So just make sure you kind of keep these little timetables on here. So give that a good whisk, sis.
Okay.
You can go crazy with it. Whisk it as hard as you want. Sweet. While you're doing that, I'm going to open these 2 cans of evaporated milk. Might want mom and dad's help on this one too, because they can get a little bit sharp and tricky. Fun fact, all of my kitchen gadgets I got from my grandma, so they're all about 25 years old. So, probably should have bought some new ones for the video, but we're just gonna make do with what we have. All right, that looks good, Sissy.
Okay.
So after the eggs, we're gonna go ahead and pour in both of these cans of condensed milk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pour in the other one.
Yeah. Just like this.
Yep, good job. Awesome, awesome. Give those a stir. Our oven is preheated and our noodles our water's about ready to boil for our noodles. So the next step is that this little bag that you guys have with 4 spices in there, there's pepper, seasoning salt, garlic powder, kosher salt. Seasoning salt is MSG free. I didn't know that regular McCormick's has MSG in it, and I read that, and so we switched it out for something that's a little bit more organic. So no worries, moms, no 1980s chemicals going into this mac and cheese. So we're just gonna pour the packets of each one of these in here. They're already measured out for you guys. So that was the seasoning salt.
Make sure you get almost about all of it.
Yep, you want all of it. Yep, we already measured it out for them. So pepper. Okay, give it a good stir, honey. We want that all in there.
Okay.
And then garlic powder. And then there's another packet of salt in there that we're gonna put in. I separated them out, so make sure that you get the one that says kosher salt to put in there and not the boiling water salt, because there's a lot more in the boiling water salt. You wanna make sure that your mac and cheese doesn't end up being too salty.
Mm-hmm. Or else it might taste a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know, I like salt, so it might taste better. So give that a stir.
Will do.
Perfect, so we're just gonna wait wait for our water to boil. Once the water boils, we're gonna put the noodles in, and then we're gonna cook those for 7 minutes, and we'll catch up with you as soon as our noodles are done. We'll drain them, and then I'll teach you how to build this macaroni and cheese. Sorry, one more thing I forgot. There's a little packet of skim milk. We gotta put that in there too.
You don't want to forget anything.
Perfect. So now we've got all the ingredients that we need, and we're just gonna wait until our pasta water's done, and we'll catch up with you in a second. All right, guys, so our water is finally boiling. So what we're gonna do now, you've got your measuring cup. We're gonna take 3½ cups of noodles. For you guys that have the cavatappi noodles, you might want to go a little closer to 4 cups just because the recipe calls for macaroni, but there's a lot more room in here for air and just holes in the noodles and that kind of thing. So probably want a little bit more pasta. So 4 cups. Which is actually, that's for the blooper reel. So it's almost a whole box. I'm just gonna dump them all in there. We'll eat the rest of the noodles later. But so we're gonna boil those for 7 minutes until they're al dente, which is perfect timing for the cavatappi noodles. So we'll catch up to you once those are done, and I'll show you how to build your macaroni. So now we drained our noodles. So what we need to do now is put 4 tablespoons of butter into our noodles. So we're just gonna stir this into our noodles, get them nice and melty, and then once that's done, we're gonna start assembling. All right, so the noodles are almost done boiling. If you remember from before, we've got our cheese all mixed up, we have our mixture, we have our butter out, and then paprika. And then you're gonna wanna keep your measuring cup because we're gonna need that to put the noodles on because they're super hot. And then have a pot holder so you can protect your counter because we're gonna need that for the pasta in a second. So see, we've got 9 more seconds. You wanna do a boiled noodle dance?
Boiled noodle dance, boiled noodle dance, boiled noodle dance, boiled noodle dance.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna turn off our noodles. They look awesome. We're gonna turn off that timer so it stops beeping at us. You guys will use a strainer, or if you have a little pasta pot like we do, this will do the trick. Okay, so see, this part's dangerous, so you might want to back off, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna take all the water out of the pasta pot. And when you drain the noodles, make sure you don't rinse them. We need those starches to make that cream get nice and thick. And then we also need the salt in there so that the noodles are flavored.
Yeah, because you don't want non-flavored noodles.
No, it'd be pretty plain, huh? All right, so now for the assembly time. This is the fun part. So we've got our buttered dish right here. So what we're gonna do, and Sissy, I'm gonna do the noodles and you can do the rest. But we're gonna put 1/3 of the noodles into our dish here.
It's all buttered up and everything.
So this dish is a little big. But then we're gonna put 1/3 of our cheese on top of that 1/3 of noodles. You wanna help me with this part? This part's easy. And we washed our hands during the break, so just in case you're wondering, it's probably a good thing to do before you cook this because it's very hands-on. Wanna help me sprinkle? So you're gonna put 1/3 of the cheese. Good job. You get it all over the edges and everything. Awesome.
My trick is so you can only see a little bit of noodle, just a little bit.
My trick is don't see any noodles. I don't care about the noodles. I just want the cheese. All right, that's good. Good job, sis. Maybe a little bit more. There's a lot of cheese. All right, then we're gonna put another 1/3 of the noodles down.
Just kind of like a cake, layer it.
Yep. And as far as the boiled noodles go, I'm glad we used the whole box and didn't follow the recipe for 3 cups because I don't think that would be enough noodles. And then we're gonna put another 1/3 of the cheese down. And for us, we have dogs, so I'm getting it all over the floor. They'll enjoy that later. All right, let's leave the rest of that because we're gonna put it on top. And then we're gonna put the rest of the noodles on top.
Also kind of like lasagna.
Yeah, it is like a lasagna. All right, this is the last layer. We're gonna even that out. Perfect. And then you wanna put the rest of the cheese on there, honey?
So sprinkle
it over. And this top layer is gonna give it the yummy melty crust.
the yummy multi crust.
Okay, I think that's good. Good job, sis. Oh, it looks fantastic. All right, so our buttered noodles are in the pan with the cheese. We're all good to go. We're gonna give this one last little stir, just because the pepper and all the ingredients kind of settle to the bottom, so we wanna make sure that they're all good. And then this is the tricky part. Tricky, I mean super easy. You're just gonna pour this over the top.
Yep.
Just make sure you get it even in there as much as you can. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're gonna get all this yummy spiciness. You guys can use a spatula, I'm using my fingers. But nobody's eating this except for us, so we're good. But anyway, just give it a little shake so that everything's even.
And soon we're gonna put the paprika in there.
And then at the end, just sprinkle with the paprika, and you can put as much or as little. There's no rhyme or reason to the paprika. If your kids don't like that flavor, that's fine, but it gives it a nice color, and I can't really taste the difference. But Sissy, do you want to put this on? You're just gonna, maybe you can just pinch it with your fingers and put it over the top. Put it in your hand.
Yeah.
I'll do one side, you can do the other, okay? I'm just gonna go like this.
Make it nice and red.
Oh, sweet. Good job, sis. Here, just dump that part out on there. You're good. Good thing we washed our hands. Who knew what would be in there? So now we're all set. So we're just gonna put this in the oven for 40 minutes. And then once we're done, we'll have our bubbly, ready macaroni and cheese for us to eat.
Yep.
What do you think, sis?
Yay.
All right, we'll show a picture of the finished product so that you don't have to hang out on video for 35 to 40 minutes. But we will post a picture and then we'll send this video out. Everybody enjoy your dinner. If you didn't notice, the blooper reel is not there. It's on the video. I actually forgot to put the butter in the noodles, so we had to edit that in. But if you do what I did and you forgot to put the butter in the noodles, we just melted it and stirred it in with the egg mixture. It really doesn't matter. And then you just pour everything over the top and you're good to go. So happy dinner to everyone. I hope you're all doing well.
Oh, and the last step.
Oh, what?
Enjoy your dinner.
Enjoy your dinner. Awesome. Well, you guys have a great night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.